Oh yeah, today is going to be a good one. I can feel it. Giving away $3,000 worth of access to our platform today to my life's work, and of course the open gates for everything to follow from this moment forward. If your names were in the competition, I'm rooting for you equally. And yeah, we got quite a bit to cover today, so I think let's just kind of jump into it, right? So, for the existing members, the diehards, those who can't just get away from the market even if they tried, those who are obsessed, those who are in love, those who are my MTOPians, I have a question for you, all right? And feel free to plug that into the chat room, as I'd like to do a quick Q&A to it, as will be an opening to the segment for our forecasters, the official instructor team, to take on what happens thereafter. So what am I talking about? The question I've got for you, I think I should type it out perhaps. All right. The question is, who is not making money? And don't see this as a name and shame. We're all about expansion and progress. And I just want to identify any nigglings in the system that we can rectify and streamline. So the question is, who is not making money? And the difficult question to answer, and why? So if you're in the state of limbo, or on your back foot, or distracted, or frustrated, or just not landing in a concept in particular, please answer that question. I want to hear back from you. Okay, so with that question, as you guys know, we've pulled together a team of coaches and instructors. I'm rather excited about this because it actually highlighted a pain point I didn't really know that was there until actually experiencing it from an outsider look in to what was going on. So what I'm talking about over here is there is this progress, right? I'm not going to divide it up equally, but basically if that was 1, this was 10, so I was really loosely 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so my spatial awareness obviously needs to get some work on there. There is a progress bar of when you learn something new and you upskill your way through the ranks to master that said something, right? So sometimes you have knowledge of it and you can jump in at, like, say for example, a 3 or a 4 of the 1 to 10 chart, 1 being absolutely novice and unaware, and 10 being a total master of that subject. Other times you can jump in at a 5 because you've been doing this for a long time, but more often I'd say than not, quite a few guys are wanting to take the stance of like a number 1, like a complete rookie, complete novice to this environment. Now, the challenge that I've identified, which is an area of growth for me, and something I suppose I've been working on the side, but not directly, is that my topics are too often, and all said at the same time. So with trading, 4 pillars of trading are forecasting, trading, risk management, and mindset. Okay, and when dealing with our shows, I'm trying to cram that in alongside system advances, alongside the performance, alongside ideals, alongside jokes and just like banter and that kind of stuff. And I feel that I've lost a lot of flow for a lot of learners who like that linear approach of progression. Sure, we've got the video tutorials and that's in chronological order, but what I want to aim towards now is to have a very clean line, structured approach to the learning process. Okay, so that's a preamble as to why we're introducing the coaches and instructors program. It's so that we can start honing in on the progression of certain silos and introduce the mechanism of tactics like quizzes and mini exams or public presentations to see how everyone's doing, where maybe a group comes together and so forth. So this is starting to bring a further line of learning structure to MTOPS, and that kicks off like from right now, from today. As you saw in the main group, we've got 4 guys on forecasting, 2 on trading, 2 on mindset, and 2 on risk management. And how we're going to divide the week up, just by the way, is that Monday and Tuesday are going to have the just see all the arrows coming down on Bitcoin, and then I was pushing up from 8 to 9. That's interesting, and quite steeply as well. Anyway, we'll get back into that in a second. So Monday and Tuesday is forecasting, questions, answers, troubles, trials, tribulations, setbacks, anything like that. I want you guys to hone in totally at the topic on Monday and Tuesday, forecasting. Wednesday will be trading, so trading tips, software, exchanges, ups and downs of using FTMO or prop firms versus spot trading versus margin trading, which is the entire topic. How to refine that, how to make your account secure, all that kind of stuff will be Wednesday. Thursday is risk management. So risk management, even though we can kind of get through it relatively quickly, there are some key factors that I want you guys to be well aware of in terms of risk reward ratio, when to trade, when not to trade, and so on, and how to journal that, right? Because that's super important, is to monitor your own progression. And through those sessions and through these sessions, just by the way, we'll also get a bird's eye view on what needs to be built and modified for next. So for example, risk management, if we're starting to see our pattern as to what the succession of a great trader is from not only myself or the top earners, but from a collective perspective, we'll turn that into tools and processes and add that into the system. Once again, we're here to build around you, and this could be a good platform for that, so a good step up. And then Friday will be mindset, and I suppose what I should say is that throughout the week we'll start off with market analysis for the first 10 minutes in any case. Okay, so we're always going to be talking about the market, which kind of extends the forecasting environment, but it doesn't as well, because we'll be honing in on deeper topics on forecasting rather than just placing turning points. Okay, so that's the structure of the week. Monday, Tuesday forecasting, Wednesday is trading, Thursday is risk management, and we end off the week with mindset. All right. So I think on that note, it's always good to celebrate. Before I get to, let me just close this off this point. So what I'm saying is that right now, I am at, if I'm humble, an 8 on the scale from 1 to 10. You don't want to call yourself a 9, because then it's kind of like vain, and you don't want to call yourself a 10 because that's just kind of like, you just don't do that. So I'm going to call myself an 8 and leave room for constant progression and new ideas and innovation and discovery and that kind of stuff. So along the way, although I can communicate to the 9 and 10 and higher mystics and higher trading and a whole bunch of more advanced stuff, I kind of lose the 1s and the 3s along the way. Okay, the dedicated ones make it to 6, and now we have a bunch of 7s. But along the way, there is these kind of roadblocks, or I'm not necessarily honing in on the simple welcome to trading topics, and this is the gap we want to start closing. So we've got, as I said, on the forecasting team, Tim is absolutely a great guy. Bobby is going to introduce himself towards the later of this episode, please excuse me. And then who else we got? Scotty, he's away on business at the moment, so he can't make this call. He'll introduce himself next week. And Brad. Okay, so there's our 4 forecasters. Bobby will be introducing himself later on. And once again, we're going to be bringing in a MTOPS Incubator phase for those that will be coached and instructed by the likes of these guys in your own separate group, which will be like a private group, and you can just feel comfortable that there isn't master traders who are kind of looking down on your charts or any weird stuff that a human starts to think about in these environments. And then you can just ask your simple questions, and you can ask your silly questions and that kind of stuff. So that kicks off from today. The group will be created today, and Bobby will introduce himself at the end of the session. Tim will introduce himself tomorrow. Okay, so covering the itinerary here. Cool. All right, before we get into markets, I love to celebrate good stuff. I've just got some messages from Mr. Axe himself. And this is great for me, guys. This is like, I just absolutely went, like, you can't really hear the music playing in the background. I'm opening up the video in a second. But there is this cool beach house vibe where you can tell that there is people just enjoying themselves, and those just chilling around in jacuzzis and around the fire pit. And what we've got here is Axe, right? So Axe has joined us, I think, was November or October last year. I'd say closer to October last year. And he's been vigilant and he's been present, and he's put the what he's been learning into actuality and just mastered himself. And within 6 months, he is where he is right now, living his best life. At this moment, he's at a Thailand resort, and he's shorted Bitcoin for the last few days. And he just said he thought he would share it with us, because he's kind of not been updating much on his progress. As you know, it's difficult, I must tell you. Like, when you're winning, it's not that you get bored of it. It's just that you feel like you don't need to tell people about it. It's the same thing about when you get rich. Like, when you're on your way up, you want to wear brands, and you want everyone to see that you can afford Ralph Lauren and Calvin Klein and all these things, and you wear like these loud statements. But when you're rich, all you're looking for is like this really good feeling fabric, and then the emblem of whatever brand it is to be like hidden on the clothing, and you don't want to show it off much. So that's what happens with our star traders. So yeah, if you don't see a lot of guys succeeding, it's because they've dropped their desire to be seen as someone who can afford Ralph Lauren and just goes out and buy it. Like, there's a difference. So this is where he is at the moment. And he said that he's left the 1.5 days. Oh, he's got 1.5 less on FTMO, and he's up in profit, 67k. Yes, son. Oh man. Well, congratulations, bud. While sitting around the fire pit in Thailand, living his best life. Currently still open in the short for another decent tip. Absolutely. Maybe 3,000 to pass. Dude, if you're passing already, you've passed. The rest is just it's calm environment. And like, I love the fact that he's doing a challenge whilst he's out around a bonfire in Thailand. Like, this is the kind of dream right there. So what I'm trying to say here is that we're going to run a competition soon. And again, guys, like, when testimonials come through, it's not me, I've asked once and I felt like wrong. It's not me asking people to share where they are, where they're coming from. It's because they genuinely and authentically living it, right? So Axe is living it. He's about to crack open another funded account with FTMO. He said all the hard work coming together. This is amazing. Like I said, he joined at the last innings of last year, and he says, even if I don't pass this one, I'll pass eventually. And this is like, I want to talk about this on Friday, but that's an abundant mindset, right? You just kind of lean into the idea that there's going to be so many more opportunities waiting for you. Don't stress about this particular one that you may have missed. So we'll go back onto that on Friday. I says, thanks for the continued support and guidance, Sensei. Namaste, brother. Well done. I'm so proud of you. Well done. Another thing I'm quite proud of here is that on the chat, when I asked the question, who's not making money and why? The answer came up, nothing really. So he's going to say he's not making money by choice. So I'll read the rest of it later. But there's no one not making money. So this is great. So I think on that note, let's bring in a new addition to the MTOPS family, to literally, not figuratively, not hypothetically, not blueprint, do this and hustle bullshit crap. Like let's literally change someone's life. The proof's in the pudding, as you just saw. So we've got our names here. 13 entrants, and I've just taken the first bit of the email addresses. I haven't touched this yet because I didn't want to try and touch it to see if it works and then that actual person not win. Okay, so here are guys, just all in anticipation on this late night game show, sitting forward after their game of bingo. No, this is serious. This is life-changing stuff, as you just saw. So I'm going to click to spin, and we're going to find out who the winner of the $3,000 lifetime access to MTOPS is. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Oh, it's slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Oh, is it Darren? Is it Darren? Oh, what? Oh, it is Darren, just by the skin of the teeth. Oh my gosh. Okay, well done to Brad. That's Brad's mate, Darren, just to confirm. Brad said, hey, this is my guy. Oh, way over there. Cool. So there it is, my friend Darren. So Brad, you've got the golden ticket, my friend. If you want to give it to Darren or not, that's totally up to you. But congratulations to you both. And yeah, man, welcome to it. Darren, can't wait to meet you, brother, if Brad decides to give it to you. Okay, so let's see how this dynamic works out. I'm not a competition fundi. It's the first time I've tried something like this. But how's yours? Let's see how it all unravels. Alright, so I think we are up to speed on the itinerary. Let's make some more money. Should we start on Bitcoin? How's yours? Yeah. Okay, it's difficult not to take a little bit of pride in this, right? I won't hang out here for too long, but we've been through some treacherous waters. And overcoming that initial uncertainty / doubt. Here we are, all this time later. How long has it been? A month ago. A lot can happen in a few hours. A month later, we're still smiling from ear to ear. We stood strong, we considered options, but overall realized that because of the point range identifier and the how far across 4 needs to go to form 5, we decided to stick to our guns. Except for Jason, but I only rat on or mess around with Jason because he's a funded trader by institutional money. So we can play around with guys like that because they're kingpins and champions and they can take it. So everyone said it's going down. Everyone was right. And here we are, just waiting for the turning point to complete. Axis in Thailand, still got an open position, $6,000 or $7,000 whilst he's around that bonfire, chilling, living his best life, and about to be funded by FTMO. He'll be then, I think 1.5 days from now, the most recent funded FTMO trader, which is insane. Again, 6 months, guys. Jason started 6 months ago, Axe started 6 months ago, boom, funded. So I guess that's a good enough data sample to say that it takes 6 months to literally change your entire life around. And this is the reason why we are exactly where we are, because this is just the beginning for many. And as we've just seen for Darren as well. All right, so I want to leave this kind of all pushing to the downside for everything for all the reasons you've heard before. Point range identifier giving us up to there, I suppose. If I click back in, around about there. So we got all this drop space. What I want to chat about is that it looks to me as if we're going to get... Oh, have we broken it already? Oh, shit. So we're going to get a point forming below the recent low, aka pushing it into downtrend. Interesting. Okay, so just on that... So we might see I'd say mid or low 20,000s over the next 3 months if we don't get a higher high on 5. So for everyone waiting to jump in, your first option is to jump in when the kill zone brings in confirmation for the end of this dominant trend being down, the bear trend. Just a side note, if you're not sure why the guys are calling it bull trend and bear trend, it's because it's the way in which the animals attack. So a bear will attack downwards and a bull will attack upwards. Who leaves these guys in charge? I have no idea. But in case you're wondering where the origin of this name came from, that's exactly where it is. Okay, so it's going to come down. We're going to wait for this final bleed out. I don't really like those words. And then the mark will rush in to get the buy orders, try to see if this kill zone is confirmed, and then push it to the upward transition. My curiosity is circling around whether or not we're going to get a higher high, because if we're going from 3 to 4 with a higher high, that means that we're going to really make a lot of money over the next period of time. But with all that's going on around the world and yada yada yada, I'm not entirely sure if that is the case. So I want to go across here for a second. But that said, the trends don't normally last much longer than 2. This is not a rule. This is an observation. Trends don't normally last much longer than 3 consecutive turning points being in the same direction. So I think we might get a turn to the overall upside on that information alone, without all the other components that would be able to validify that, or whatever the case may be. So 3 coming down to 4 might... I mean, we'll figure out, in the next 10 days, we're going to see the bull turn, the upward transition. turnaround, the question is, will it just do its little dance or will it start to move? Okay, so here's the thing, guys. If we get a commitment past halfway on the kill zone for a trend to climb this 1/2 line, it's more than likely we're going to get a higher high. Okay? So expect money to rush in here, and we can watch the news for whatever speculation those clowns come up with for entertainment only. Don't follow the news for trade advice, let me tell you that much. Or the 1/1 up there. If it's a 1/1 or a 1/2, then we're hitting 20,000. I think that 20,000 will attract a whole new set of buyers, which is hilarious. Because, I mean, I got in at Bitcoin when it was $2,100, right? Now a good price is above $20,000. It's crazy how this game works. So, yeah. And it's not even the fact that if I had to hold my my coins back at 2,000, that I would be like the superhero, because now it's 10x, maybe just beyond 10x, because that rubbish doesn't make sense to me. Like, we can generate thousands of dollars a day with other people's money and not have to wait 5 years to 10x. Just sitting and wake up in the morning going, ooh, what's my account this morning? What's my account this morning? What's my account right now? Screw that life. We make our money. We're hunters, baby. Not everyone is. I am definitely a hunter. Okay, so there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a kidding. Yeah. Hunter's attitude. Go out and get him kind of person. That's where I'm coming from. Okay, so the 5, 1, 2. 3 below 1. 2 shallowing out around 10, but the 3 pushed it down. Still got space here. We're going to find out what's happening in the next 5 days. I think old Axe is going to really hit this one out the park. I just can't believe how close I'll get back on track now. How close their competition was. I didn't like it just went over to Darren's name. That is hilarious. I'm so glad the computer called it out, because the pressure would have been on me to ascertain where that fell. As you guys already know, and you've seen on your own charts, we just go down, 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 down. Wait, what's happening with 248? Oh, I freaked out there for a second. This was just an example, so let me get rid of that. Okay, so basically everything's kind of still pushing down. We've identified this well ahead of time. And even though the TTI is still new, that's really shown up and delivered without apology. And I love that bravado from our innovative design. Okay, I wanted to talk to you guys about okay, cool. So tomorrow we're going to be doing some fundamentals of the forecasting arena and do some questions and answers and make sure everyone's on a good wicket. Over here, you've got quite a flat market structure. And as I was setting this up, I thought I'd set it up with you guys, because just whilst I was racing through the markets, and again, you guys got kids, you got jobs, you got commitments. Even if you don't have those things, you've got the beach, you've got the movies, you've got the parks and hikes and living life on your own terms. So you don't want to spend the entire day at chart. So what you want is clarity, and you want to have correctness, but without all the schlep of manually doing it on TradingView and whatever else that other people have to suffer through, right? So I had a look at this, and I thought to myself, well, where does 6 end? Okay, so that's obviously 5. Does 6 end there? 7, and so forth. And the quick fire way, like I said, you guys got busy lives and you need to rush out the door to beat traffic and that kind of stuff. The quick fire way to confirm a turning point is to just use a point range identifier and see within that area where was the lowest point that happened. Okay, so that's the obvious answer over there. But that quickly brought me into what is the answer accurately by doing it this way. So if you guys need to fast check yourself, that's the best way to do so. All right, so here's my 6, 7, what are we on, the 32? What's today? I was getting confused. I was like, wait, where the hell is 9? Okay, so that's way too big. Let's just do the scaling. We'll go through this real quick so Bobby can take the microphone and introduce himself to you guys again for those who haven't met him yet. Solid stand-up citizen, and absolute joy to have a part of the progression of MTOPS. Okay, so if we are turning up, it'll happen here. Otherwise, just wait for Killzone to do all the confirmations. This was quite a mess. I was going to go through this with you guys in terms of the structure, but today we've been quite up to. We've been doing an announcement about everything else. Okay, so I'm going to leave that though. I'm sure Bobby will be able to help out if you have any questions. We saw this unravel. I wasn't too phased by this initial impulse because it didn't have the legs or the sustainability to keep on going up that way, given the amount of space it still had until the end of the cycle. So once again, calling price action in the now moment and ahead of time with reasoning to back it up, not just thumbsuck or I don't know, some assumption about macroeconomics or whatever the guys suck out of their thumbs. All right, so gold real quick. And once again, guys, the reason why we have these markets is for traders like myself who have been around for a while to have options during a consolidating or ranging, basically a sideways moving market. If you're not ready for the world outside of Bitcoin just yet, no rush, guys. Take it one step at a time. Gold and Dow Jones have been designed into our makeup as those markets are easily accessible in the FTMO environment. So for anyone who's stressing out on which exchanges to sign up with, we got your back. It's all pre-written into the design of our makeup. Okay, so gold is down 512. I'm not confident that 5's in yet. Under these circumstances, guys, as I always say, please consider the full cycle and look at the point spacing, right? As well as a congestion over here, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not sure if 4 is in. So basically, this is where I start to lose interest in this market as a contender for my capital to go in at. Oopsie, I locked my computer by mistake. So I should be completing this down leg. I wouldn't get in right now. It's uncertain. So I think we can skip gold and move on until we get some confirmation. So let's have a look at what the US steady did today, or is doing right now. What I find interesting is that even though there's an open ball rush, it doesn't seem as if there is a ton of it these days, unless it's more rush frenzy on the lower frames. Okay, so just look at the TTR for quick answers. I think 3 is still completing its way to 4. 512 has not confirmed to the upside, so I'm still confident of being in a downtrend. 5 incomplete, but in point range. So we're now at the arena as to where it could potentially turn around, but no guarantees until we get all the confirmations. The oscillator is threatening to switch, but I wouldn't lean on the oscillator too strong until you start getting the full story. All right, so again, I don't know. Okay, so the 128, it's in range. Oscillator is trying to switch, so there could be a turning point here. Or alternatively, this upward turning point is just getting one formed, which we'll have until there, and then carry on with 2, which I think is going to be the case as to how late into the cycle 10 had formed. So I wouldn't go long unless you're just looking for some fun money profit. I wouldn't take this serious. I mean, look at all that bundle up front. It's not a good look. Obviously, the 32 in kill zone. This is a dog show. You don't want your money to be sacrificed to the gods of messy markets. I don't know where I was going with that. There's no such thing. Basically, your money deserves better. So I don't think Dow Jones is it. But once again, guys, we've been calling it ahead of time on all markets. But most importantly, not only calling ahead of time, but giving with reason as to why not to trade. For example, what we just saw there. Okay, so it's built into the system and changing lives. On that, I'm going to start kind of moving away from the microphone myself and ask Bobby to turn his on. I just want him to kind of just get you guys up to speed for the next 5 minutes as to more or less who he is, why he wants to uplift others, and who is going to be taking care of you within the MTOPS Incubator. Mr. Ricky Bobby, are you there? Hell yeah. Take it away. Nice. Brilliant.